All right. A lot of newer traders always ask, what should I trade and where and how? So one of the first things you want to look for is that it has volume. Okay. So in the last 24 hours, $97 million of BNB USDT was traded. The second thing you really need is range and volatility. So the 24-hour low was 1475 and the high was 1750. So, there's some range. After you decide that that might be a coin you want to trade that has, enough volume to get in and out so you can day trade it and try to catch a little gain on it and has enough range, because if you have something that trades, $97 million of volume and it moves 3 cents, like there's no money to be made. There's just not enough volatility or range. So those two things are key to begin with for day trading. All right, second, we're looking over here and you're like, well, it's up 12%. And it's probably been up more than that because the high was 1750 and we're down at 1650. So it's pulling back. So you might be thinking like, is this something I want to trade? Well, let's look at the indicators. You probably have all the same ones on Binance. That's the 99. That's the 25 and the 7. So right now it's falling faster and pulling away and you're like, oh man, maybe I don't want this. Okay, well that's on a 1 minute chart. And that's also a real slice view. So while it's pulling back, it might be pulling back to a spot that is a good place to take an entry. So let's look at a bigger chart. Get a little more picture on it. So now if we look at this, you can see that, yeah, it's downtrending. The 99 moving average is falling. Everything's pretty much fallen. And the 7's pulling away from everything else, but it's starting to close up a little bit. Looking at the volume spikes, it tried to sell off and the low is 1650. Now it's come back down to 1650 on the 1 minute. It looks, pretty bad overall, but it is slowing down on the downtrend. So maybe this is a play I want to take. So let's flip through multiple time frames. Multiple time frames are very important for trying to find an entry, because right now, if you look at the 1, it's pulling back. That's great. In the short term, it's pulling back, so we might have a chance to get some. Let's look at a 3 minute chart. Ooh, what's the high? Well, there it was a little while ago. It uptrended and it slipped under the 99 and it's downtrending pretty hard. So you might find a spot at the 1650 zone. So you want to look for price support first, from the left side of the chart. And you can see there's a lot of downside if that keeps going. But most likely it'll find a spot that lines up right there at the 1650, right there. And over there, that was kind of the high. And then it became support as well. So, right in that zone is kind of support and resistance slipovers. So look at another time frame. So looking at the 5 minute, still pulling back. But it's pulling back to something that, as you can see right there, if we throw a tool on this, it's an interesting spot. Okay, so right now I'm probably going to take this and go into a little entry for a bounce play. Hopefully get back up to that 17, and I'm going to go in, like a quarter size, so that if it falls, it's going to fall a long ways. I can get back out, but let's just go through a few more time frames. Maybe there's a better entry to wait for if we're patient. All right. If you notice on the 15-minute time frame now, there's a rising 99, and that's meeting what's coming down. That's probably a pretty good spot to take a bounce play, okay? I would take that again on the 15 on the 99 bounce, 99 moving average. And if it does break below that, well, where's the next logical support? I don't know if I can run this many on a free one. Guess I can't. Let's move that down like so. All right, so 15, whatever, 50. In that zone's about right. So that's probably the next spot it drops to, but let's check some more time frames. And 1590 is pretty good as well. Right there off that 99. And you notice it lines up on the left-hand side where resistance pushed it down, came back up, resistance pushed it down, and it dropped it all the way down to 1386. That's a really good spot too, long range. That's also inside the day's high and low almost. It's yesterday's low. So those would be spots that I'd be looking to, if I was super patient, to maybe take it there, there, and there. But I want a shorter play. So I'm going to go in a quarter size now. And BNB, I use BNB to trade with, so if I got a little stuck with it, I'd be okay. But I'd average down again at this 99 on the 30 minute. And if that didn't hold, let's look at the 1 hour. 1 hour still looks pretty good. Even if it came down some more, that's the next spot. 1540, whatever. And look, what do you know? There's the rising on the 1 hour, and it meets there, and it meets support. There, and all the way back over there. So there's some pretty good spots, and those are all good spots to take an entry for a bounce play. And let's look at the 2 for the hell of it. And logically, that's the bottom of the trend right there. That's the switch over spot right there. There, 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 there. So most likely that's the spot to be the best play to take for a bounce, but you can do what you want. But this is just some ways to take a look and see what's logical. Roll 6 hour. You can see it's still on trend uptrend, and that's a good logical spot to pull back right there as well. Let's look at a daily. And what do you know? On a daily from several days back, that's where it topped out at. Once, twice, sent it all the way down to $4 from 17 back in June. And it took all that time to fall and all that time to wind back up. And could it come all the way back down? Sure. But we're only worried about day trading. Right now, in the daily, these are on hard uptrends. So unless those break and fall all the way through, which probably they won't, a good play is 14, 15 bucks, to enter and start to play with. Anyway, so you need pivots, you need volume, and you need range. Okay, those are the main things you need, and that's a brief overview of how you find them. If you need a more in-depth overview of how to drill down and find time frames on a chart for pivots, I have a much longer video, but that's way too long for most people. Any other questions, let me know in the room.